Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, and I am going to continue with the art journal that I started to make. This will be part 2. Part 1, I will link that video below in the description, is where I made all of these pages, and these are from just single tab dividers here that have the 3 holes and had jelly printed on both sides, and I have 15 pages here. And what I'm going to do next is just create a cover for this, and I'm going to show you what I have came up with. So this is one of my eco-dyed papers. This reminds me of the inside of a cave, so I'm going to go with that and create kind of some cave art on this, and that will go well with the art journal theme. So this was on watercolor paper, and it's bigger than this size here. So these are 8.5 by 11 size, and what I'm going to do is cut it down to 11 by 9, because with the tab it's actually 9 inches long or wide here, so I want the cover to go and kind of hide the tabs. So I will go ahead and cut that down. I think I'll cut probably this area here, and I will be back. Okay, so I have this cut down to 9 by 11 inches, and I've got some stencils here that I've created. So this reminds me of, cave drawings or cave paintings where they're just a primitive like silhouette of deer, or there's like horses or whatever. So I've got all of these prepared, and as you can see, this is a really cool piece of paper. So there's like some chunks here of where some of the onion skin ended up sticking to the paper. As you can see there, it's very three-dimensional and looks so cool. So I cannot wait to see how this turns out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay out, I think I want my deer kind of like this at the bottom, towards the bottom, where maybe something like this. And then I have some little hands here. If you've ever seen pictures of cave paintings, you'll see where they've outlined their hands, and they look so neat. But what I'm going to do, so that one is this one, and I'm going to just position it over kind of like that. And I'll remove that. I should probably move it over actually a little bit more, because there's going to be holes here for the binding. So let me move him over to the right a little bit. And I'm going to get it kind of in the same position. Doesn't have to be exact here. So I'm going to take my favorite color here, is this sepia or sepia. So this is some archival stamping ink here, and I'm just going to stamp this guy on with a makeup sponge and the sepia. I think this reddish brown color goes really well with the background here. So I really like this eco-dyed stuff, because you've got, I mean, like 75% of my cover is already finished, because the background's there. I mean, all of that detail, all of this three-dimensional look here is already there. It's so cool. If I could get rid of that square. Well, now I've got like great the shape of the makeup sponge on my deer now. So I guess I'm gonna have to go over that a little bit more. So this is not gonna be even coverage, it'll just be different degrees of shading here. Let's see, make sure I get the legs in there. And, ooh, that is cool. I like that color with this. So I'm going to continue on with this, and I'll complete the deer, and I'll come back and I'll show you how I'm going to put the hands on. So I've got my 3 deer here stamped in there, stenciled on, and I have one handprint here that I did off camera, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So we've just got some of these hands that I've cut out, and here's one here that's already been colored, and I'm going to place it right there, and I'm just going to take my makeup sponge again, and I'm going to hold my stencil down with the end of this brush and just go around the outside of that cutout hand with some of this ink. I'm gonna just move my paper around a little bit so that I can get all around, make sure I get in between all the little fingers. And there's the second one right there. So there's 2 hands. I think that looks really awesome. So I am going to continue and add quite a bit more hands throughout the top of the cave, and I will be back, show you what it looks like, and I may do a little bit more to this to kind of make it not look so flat. So I'm not sure yet, so I will be back. Okay, so far I've got all of my hands put on here. I think this looks so awesome. I think you would agree that it is so cute. So the next thing I'm gonna do is try to get this to not look so stencil-like, and in looking at some of the images of cave paintings, there are some that were colored in and then outlined in black, and then the hands, there was variations of like the reddish brown and some black. So what I've got here, and I've already started a little bit here with this hand and part of this deer, and so what I have here is just a charcoal pencil. I think this works the best to make it look more natural on this. So I'm just going to start outlining the deer. And they have various widths of lines. So some are thicker and some are thinner than others. And I'm not going to do too much detail because obviously there wasn't like a lot of detail in cave paintings. They're just, you get the basic idea here. And let's see, I've got a reference photo that I'm looking at on my tablet. I don't remember if they did eyes or not. I think some caves had some eyes. This deer has some black. Kind of define this ear is there. And apologize if I'm being like super quiet here, but now I'm concentrating. Then I'll just kind of smudge it a little bit. This leg is in front of that one there. And I can kind of define the hooves a little bit here. And I'll just move on to, let me just, I think I'll add a little bit more black to the back, this back ear here. And lightly go around some of these hands. Kind of smudge it, and that's going to make it look more real. So I'm not sure what they used for their black. So there's that. Let me just... I'm not sure if I want to put eyes in. So, tell you hilarious, what I found hilarious when I was looking up these cave paintings, just Googling some images, there was an image of, well, there was an article of an 8th grader where he went on a school trip to visit some cave paintings or look at some cave paintings, and he was dared to draw something on one of the animals, so he drew a private part on one of the animals, and the picture is hilarious. You guys are going to have to look this up. I don't know if this is true, but it's kind of funny. Okay, so I'm going to continue with this. You get the idea. So I'm just varying the width of the lines, and I'm not going to outline every one of these. I'll do some random hands here, and I'll just continue with that, and I'll come back and I'll show you the finished result. Okay, so here it is so far. This looks really cool. So I've outlined some of the hands in the black charcoal. I have all of the deer outlined, just not totally outlined. I've left some things just colored without the outline, just to give it some variation. I've got these here, and I just wanted to quickly show you. I'm going to outline some of these on this side in black. So I have my charcoal, and I'm trying to keep the charcoal pencil sharpened. It's not that sharp, but it's, you know, if I hold it on its side, then I can get a more fine point. So I'm just lightly going around the hand here carefully, and I'm just very lightly filling in around the hand with the charcoal. So go through in between the fingers as carefully as I can. It's difficult to do because this watercolor paper is rough, so there's a lot of texture on this paper, so I'm not getting a very smooth outline, which is okay because I would assume the inside of caves are not perfectly smooth, so I think that adds to kind of the realism of this. So, just a little difficult to do here. Just take your time. I'm lightly doing this. Holding, like I said, just keeping this on its side. Lightly coloring around. And as you can see, all the gaps here from the texture of the paper are here. And some of these I didn't do the entire hand. Like you can see this one here, I just have a part like this side of the hand. There's a little bit here on that side. I didn't do the entire thing. And just looking at some of the examples, Googling some of the examples, not all of the hands are totally outlined in black. And I think I want this one as well. Just adding a little bit of this color here. Alright, so then I'm going to take my blending stump, which isn't very skinny either, so I've got to hold it on its side and just go around and kind of smudge this charcoal out. And I'm going outside a little bit just to fade that charcoal in. So I'm just spreading that charcoal around. I'm sorry, I'm like way in the corner here. So I'm just pulling up so that I can make sure that those fingers are separated out as much as possible. And then just going around and spreading out that black. Just carefully going around the edge and in between the fingers. And if it helps to just move the paper. And it does me because I'm left-handed and my hand gets into everything. So I've already got smudges on the side of my hand here. Okay, so there's these two. And I may make it just a little bit darker. Add a little bit more to the edge. Maybe just on this side, not and on this side. Okay, so I'm going to call that done, and let me zoom you out if I can. Let's see. Okay, so we're zoomed out. This is the entire piece. I think it's pretty cool. I know there's a little less going on here at the bottom, which I think's fine because, you know, there's going to be more going on up here because here's where all of that texture and cool cave-like stuff is. And there is my cover. So I'll punch holes for this. I can't find my hole punch, so obviously I'll just kind of just trace around the holes, kind of make sure that I've got the holes in the right spot. And the next video, I will show you how I'm going to bind this. The back cover, I'll figure out. I don't think I'm going to design the back cover. I'll just find another piece of eco-dyed paper or something to put on the back. And I will show you a unique way to bind these. So I have not seen that before, how I am going to do it. So if you're interested and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button so that you do not miss this new method of binding or any new videos coming up, because I will continue working in this art journal. I've got some other projects coming up which are going to be pretty cool. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you, and I will be back. Bye bye.